little list, you have your characteristic of a good teacher of God. And to kick off this workshop, we're just going to go into what those characters mean for us as good teachers, to really embody them and step into them. You know, Course in Miracles is like one of the only philosophies I know of that says, oh, do you want to be a good teacher of God? Yeah? Yeah, okay, what do you have to do? Just say you want to. It's like, really? You know, no special hoops, no special permission slips, no doctrines, no.
That's true. That's true. It says, a teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one.
Yeah, isn't that nice? So, but sometimes we forget to choose, right? And it gives us these tools to say, as I choose, you don't just get to choose, I'm going to give you the toolbox. It's how you can be a really great teacher of God. So the first tool in the toolbox is trust. Who here got the aspect of trust? You did? Yeah, I got it too when I was sitting in that chair. And now in this chair I got joy. I'm glad I traded.
Well, I'm a teacher of God, except for some days during football season.
Yeah, so the idea of trust, what does that mean, you know? In God we trust, all others pay cash, right? Yeah, and you know why? Because we don't actually have to trust each other. All we have to do is trust God. And if we trust God implicitly, everything else is going to be taken care of. And things might show up weird in weird disguises and in weird ways where you can say, what is this? This is not what I ordered, you know? But if we trust God, we get to look past the image of it and see that there is a plan beyond our understanding that is surely going to unfold as we stay true to that trust in God. You know, trust, fear, and faith ask us the same thing, to believe in something that is unseen, right? And so either we get to really start off, and we got to start off with a powerful trust and an implicit, you know, and if you say, it's kind of like when you're jumping out of an airplane. The guy puts the backpack on you, right? And you look at him and he says, I think it's going to work. You know, you don't want to come like that to God. You know, God gives you amazing tools and you say to God, I think I can do this. You want to be like, God, boom, I got this. This thing is going to work because it's love and it cannot fail. It's of you, I'm your extension. We got this. There is no way that we can fail. That's that kind of really implicit faith and trust, and to not let anything get in the way.
You know, I've done that.
You have?
I jumped out of an airplane. Yeah. With like Regis and Kelly.
What happened?
I lived.
That's awesome.
You know, I wouldn't do it again because I learned after everything that can go wrong. You know, so I would never do it again. But yeah, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it. I'm afraid of heights. That really is my only fear. But you know what? Like today, when we move in the love of God, we also get to take care of ourselves. You know, living in love and fearlessness doesn't mean that we have to push ourselves off the cliff every day. You know, we could go on the gentle path, which is another characteristic of a good teacher of God. But it's not the next one. What's the next one that comes up? Is it honesty? Yeah, who got honesty? Yeah, tell me about it. Is it honesty? Hold on one second, I have them written down. Yeah, it is honesty. And, you know, for the characteristic of a good teacher of God is to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And for us, people pleasers of the Midwest, when we just want to be nice, sugarcoat it, water it down, it's like we are so far sometimes from the truth because we're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. But let me tell you something. If you tell somebody the truth and they're no longer your friend, it wasn't based on truth anyhow. And there have been times in my life where people were brave enough to tell me the truth, and I hated them for it. And then the next morning, after a few nights' sleep, I woke up and I loved them. Yeah, you know, we're not here to make friends. We're here to tell the truth. And when we tell the truth, we can look around the room, and those people that can handle our truth will be standing there. Do you get it? So are we ready to really tell the truth? That needs to be a bigger yes. I mean, you were honest, you were like, I don't know, am I? I'm not buying into that one. Maybe the next one. First of all, are we ready to trust God completely? Yes. Good. Are we ready to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, to the best of our ability. Yes, to the best of our ability. 12 step says, and except we're to do so would cause harm. You know what I mean? So don't go puking up your truth on somebody's shoes if they're not ready. And also, you know, you can always say, like, can I share this with you? Sometimes people didn't ask for your truth, right? So you can I share this with you? And if they say no, they're telling you the truth. So back off and hold that until the Holy Spirit tells you it's really time to deliver that message. It might not be yours to deliver. It might be somebody else's to deliver. Don't think that you're someone else's God. You're just a messenger. You're there to gently help them to their highest good. Gently is the key word there. I don't know what the next characteristic is. Do you know it, Gary? Is it joy? That's what I got. Joy. This guy knows all about joy. The first time that I saw him and Joe speak together, you guys were best friends practically. You guys got each other, and you brought the joy out for each other, and he loved you so much. Yeah. And Gary is one of those teachers that when I finally let him speak, he's really funny. He said I could have the first hour, so I'm taking it. So joy. This is the day the Lord has made for us to rejoice and be glad in. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to be in joy. You know? And God has given us such a simple part, such a simple role to play. Rejoice and be glad. And we're like, I'd rather complain and kvetch. Can I play that role instead? So, how do we really, enjoy? It means activating gratitude. And in A Course in Miracles, it says that we've been given 1,000 reasons to gladden ourselves, and we refuse all of them. And I get on that train every day, I'm like, this is too small, too big, too fat, too little, too less, too this, too that. I'm too much, too. The ego will sing us those songs, You're not enough, and this is not enough. And you're not enough, and this is not enough. And sometimes they'll sing it in unison, they'll sing it in harmony, so they can get you coming and going, right? But to each of those little lullabies, we have to say, no, not today, not now, not on my watch. I have 1,000,000 reasons to be glad. And then start to think about those reasons to be glad. So are we ready to truly step into joyful teachers of God? Yes! I think I had the biggest yes there. I hope at the end of the day your yes is bigger than my yes. Laughter is one of the great things about A Course in Miracles. I don't know any other philosophy that has found this. Like laughter heals the mind. Laughter, when you ask me what enlightenment is, I say to you, it's when you laugh. If you can get more enlightened than that, I'd love to see it. You know what I mean? And the Irish, yesterday was the, luck of the Irish. We know how to laugh, And, all separation happens when we take away from God and we take it seriously, and we make something very serious. So we have to allow ourselves to lighten up. Okay, so what's the next characteristic of a good teacher of God? Defenselessness. Who got defenselessness? You did? You did? Yeah. What do you think about that?
You really want to answer?
I really do.
It's one of the building blocks of my life at this time.
Of course it is. That's why you got it. So tell us about that. What does that mean?
It means that if I'm going to be a teacher of God, I have nothing to defend. I have everything to give.
All right. What's your name? I met you outside, but I'm really bad with names because I'm dyslexic.
My name is Don.
Don. Yeah, Don. Good job. Yeah. That's right. In order to have something, in order to protect what you have, give it away. That's what the Course says, And don't be afraid of giving it away. Because as you give it away, just like when you pick all those blueberries off the bush, it tells the bush, oh, this lady likes blueberries. Next season, I'm going to make twice as many. Do you know that blueberries do that for us? Yeah, you think God's less than a blueberry bush? Like God knows what delights us, and when we extend it out into the world, God says, oh, she's ready to extend that. Let's give her more. So always give what you want. Don't give the shit you don't want, right? Don't give somebody a hard time. Don't give, somebody stingy ways, Give in an audacious way, And that is the opposite of defense. That is the staying in defenselessness. Defensiveness means you're going to build a wall. We don't need more walls. We need bridges. But we all know that. That's why we're here. So the next one is generosity, and we kind of tapped on that when we talked about defenselessness. Generosity. Who got generosity? Yeah? What do you know about generosity?
What do I know about it? I just think of generosity with your love. Just love everybody, love everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because, really the only thing we can ever give is love. What's your name?
Beth.
Beth? Thanks for coming today, Beth. Joe Wolf was so generous. He had nothing. I'm sorry, but he really had nothing, and he was so generous. I went over to his house, and he lived above this little restaurant called Warsaw. And if you know him at L, you know that he did all of his workshops at Warsaw. We were there last time at Warsaw, and he would say, "This place is so great." And I went up to his room after he was out of prison, and his room was like so small. It was like the size of the vestibule. He had a bed, he had a nightstand, he had a radio, he had his little office, and he had all of his books, and he had his letters to his prisoner. And I looked around and I was like, "Joe, man, you're out of prison. You don't have to live like this." But he goes, "What do you mean? This is great." And I was like, wow, he is so generous. He has nothing, and he spends every dime, every moment of his time on extending his love to everyone who's left behind him, Like he saw that, dark night of the soul, and he didn't escape it on his own. He went back to hold a thread out for others. And that's what books can do, and that's what you can pick up one of those books from Joe in the back and get one of Gary's books, because those books that we sent to the prisoners, they can't get beyond the walls. And you remember those books that you read that made you escape? Maybe it was Four Agreements, maybe it was Course in Miracles, maybe it was Bhagavad Gita, whatever it was, maybe it was 12-step for some of us. Those books that had such an impact on our lives and set us free in so many ways. Imagine being in prison and getting one of those books. I mean, you could literally blow someone's mind. You can blow them into a greater consciousness to the point where I believe form follows consciousness. So as their consciousness gets lifted, those cell walls are going to fall away. And they'll have a greater opportunity to be free. You know what I mean? So you're literally helping people escape from prison, the prison of their own minds. And we're all in prison in some ways in that way. So yeah, generosity. That's what we're all here, demonstrating generosity. The next one is, do you have anything to say about generosity? Regis?
Yeah.
Oh, he's being stingy. Damn him. Let's see. The next one is, I don't know these ones by heart. Generosity, and then comes defenselessness, and then comes patience. I hate that one. Patience is the virtue of kings, right? In regards to trust and patience and all of these things, you can apply that rule in A Course in Miracles that says, with enough patience, all of my problems will be solved now. With enough trust, all of my problems will be solved now. And in regards to trust, it's like, I don't trust it, and I don't got no time for that. I want my problems, you know what I mean? I want to romance them, and I want to dance them all around the place, But if we really and truly apply these characteristics of a good teacher, they will help us to navigate it in a greater way. Patience is the virtue of kings. When's the last time you walked in your royalty, knowing that you are a child of God? When was the last time you truly leaned back into the idea that God has you and you can move through this world like a hot knife through butter, without fear, without care, without planning? Just knowing that the Holy Spirit is unfolding a beautiful road before you, but not just for your own good, but for everyone you come in contact with. That's the way the king and queen move, and you have every right. You are entitled to miracles. If you did your lesson this morning, we're on lesson 77, lucky 77. You're entitled to miracles. Did you know that? For me, that's one of the worst lessons, because I thought, I hated the word entitlement. I was like, oh, he's entitled, she's entitled. I had an unhealed definition of entitlement. But today I'm like, I'm entitled to miracles? Yeah, you are. And you're entitled to miracles. Are we acting like that? Are we acting like we really and truly have faith in that concept, that our God is that good? So what are miracles? Extension of God's love that require no sacrifice, no conditions. Everything that you'll be brought to, you'll be brought through by the grace of God with ease and grace and joy. I mean, are we living like that? If we did, if we are, we should have every reason to have a full-bodied yes to, yeah, I'm here to be enjoyed. I got no problems, you know? So, are we ready to be that? Are we ready to step into that?
Yes.
Generous? Yeah.
I wanted to mention one quote from the Course. It says, "Only infinite patience produces immediate results."
Oh.
It's one of those Zen koans of the Course. Kind of pisses me off, but
I know, but doesn't it work every time? Damn it! It does work, you know, when we remember to use it.
by the way, when the Course talks about results, it's not talking about worldly results.
No,
It's talking about peace.
peace of mind.
It's always about peace.
If you have your peace of mind, you have everything. So the next one is faithfulness, which is very much, you know, compared to that first one of trust. You know, trust is saying, you know, I'm here for you, God, explicitly, and faith is saying, like, it's a maintenance plan, you know, that I'm going to be for you in every way. You know, when honesty in A Course in Miracles is described as consistency, it's because it's wanting, you know, what is in our minds and what comes out our mouth holes and what's in our heart and what we're feeling in our guts to be consistent. That's how we become holy. So, like, we don't show up to a party and be like, God, I hate this lady and she just gets on my nerves and she owes me that $200 and she hasn't paid me. And then we see her and we're like, hey, how you doing? Fine. You know? We get to be brave enough to say, you know what? Can I talk to you? You owe me that $200 and it's in jeopardy of getting in the way of our friendship. So it's been on my mind. That's what's on my mind. I'm not fine. I'm actually rattled by it. It feels really uncomfortable. I know it's silly because it's just $200 and I really love you and I don't want that to be a wrinkle in our relationship. You know, be consistent. If that's what you're thinking, she smells it anyhow. You know what I mean? All she's thinking is like, shit, I owe her $200. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. You know what I mean? We're so much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. We have to allow ourselves to be consistent, you know? So when somebody says, how are you? And you feel audacious, you don't say fine. You say, I'm audacious. And when somebody says, how are you? And you feel shitty, you don't say fine. You say, I'm low. You know, I'm thin today. Your friends can handle your truth, you know? So are we a full-bodied yes to being faithful? 100%? Yes! I'm in. And then the last one is open-mindedness. You know, open-mindedness is really speaks about our innocence. You know, when's the last time you truly walked into a room and fully embodied the idea of, I don't know what anything's for? And you walked over to the coffee table and you saw a book and you put it in your mouth. Because that's what a baby does. It wants to just, what is this? You know, because it doesn't know what anything is for. It doesn't know that you don't eat books. You know what I mean? To come that vacant and that absent of all of the preconceived ideas that we had. To look at every single person that's in front of you and go, ah! You know, like a baby does. To allow yourself to look at every single person as you look at a baby who's so innocent and go, ah! You know, we Google and Gaga for babies and dogs, and then for each other we're like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? So that open-mindedness allows us to actually be open to a greater good, a greater light, a greater possibility. And I don't know why we're not being, generous with the mustard. I don't know why we're being stingy with the mustard when it comes to our audaciousness, because A Course in Miracles tells us that everything that we give out returns to us multiplied. You know, and all giving and receiving are one and the same. So why wouldn't you invest in a happy, joyful, generous, gentle world? You know, we didn't do gentle, so I'm going to do gentle, and then I'm seriously going to shut my mouth. Gentleness is one of my favorite ones. And it's funny, if you look up gentleness in the dictionary, or on Google even, you will find toilet paper. Yeah, that's what we save it for. It's the only place we want to be gentle with each other. Oh, shit. You know, and for our kids, we're like, get out there, go get them, knock them dead. You know, we're not gentle with each other. We're like, come on, hurry up already. How come you didn't do that? Why are you there? Judgment is so ungentle. it's so abrasive to judge each other. It's so abrasive to rush each other. It's so abrasive to condemn each other. You know, if we practice this concept of gentleness, of real gentleness, think of all those way showers that we know. They move at the pace of peace. It's so gentle. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You know? So why would we take this seriously? Why would we be so compassionate with each other? My friend Joe Wolf was gentle. He was a gentle giant. You know, I said at his eulogy, you know, that he and I, we became friends through the, you know, plan of the Holy Spirit. And, you know, I was an ex-actress and he was an ex-convict, and I was the gruffer of the two. He was like, one time we were on a radio show and he looked at me before he hit record and he was like, "Don't curse." And I was like, "Oh shit." I gotta do that in the whole hour. I forgot to mention that, I curse. You know, I laugh, I cry, I curse, and I don't apologize for anything, you know? Because that's just who I am and as I am, and I know you can handle my truth. And I would love for you to show up and be who you are as you are with no judgments on yourself, you know? Because that's audacious. So he knew about gentleness, and he had enlightened moments with Kuan Yin, you know, who is the goddess of compassion, you know, that gentle love. And so I invite you today to really step into these concepts of God, to really start to imagine, hey, I'm a teacher of God. These are the things that I should know about. These are the things I should be contemplating every single day. Am I adding defenselessness to my life? Am I adding gentleness to my life and to myself? Am I really, really living my joy? You know, am I really expressing generosity? Because all of these are what's going to really help you with your own personal ministry, to live, to be and see and free love in a greater degree, and that's what you're here for. So, I promised I would get Gary. Gary Renard. Gary Renard came out to us from California. He agreed to do this talk with Joe Wolf before Joe passed. And Joe was a huge fan of Gary Renard's. He literally listened to one of Gary's talk, and he sat down for what must have taken him days and scribed this talk that Gary did. And then he created a book from it with Gary's permission. And from that moment on, they became fast friends. And they've been, you know, Gary's been helping with Joe's ministry, you know, since it began, Spirit Light Outreach. It's sad that Joe's not with us, but I'm so grateful that Gary, you know, kept the commitment and came out to continue to help the ministry, and I know we'll see what's going to move forward. So please give it up for Gary Renard.
Thanks for watching. If you want more tips and tools on how to be a spiritual vixen, go on over to my website, MaureenMuldoon.com, and you can sign up for my love notes. Until then, I'm Maureen Muldoon, the spiritual vixen, reminding you to love more, fear less, and don't forget to laugh.